Day is brought to you by Barton Community College. Explore your future and get started now. Visit gobarton.com.
Okay, Sports Day in 3, 2, 1.
I think also we need to stay as level-headed as possible and keep our focus on our side of the court, whereas not getting involved with the other teams.
One game at a time, take it, let's just put another one on the record. I've never, kind of a humble thing, like walk in and show them why you're that, not just we are that.
It forces your hand a little bit to develop depth, maybe earlier than you want to. And, obviously we had a tough schedule to start the year. So playing sophomores that early in the season against that level of competition was tough, but give those sophomores credit. They battled
in the locker room, make sure they're picking everything up, doing what they're supposed to, then out on the field, getting juice. And when they make a mistake, get on a little bit, but help them up. And then when they do something good, get excited. And
we've got young guys playing left tackle. I mean, that's not a secret. And so it's important that we just continue to progress there and get better. We know there are going to be some hiccups. We just got to keep getting better and better as we go. That's the important thing. And the guys are working hard.
I think Buffalo is playing a game of chess. They're saying, hey, we're moving on from Stephon Diggs. We're going to draft Cam Coleman, and we're going to be opportunistic. And I think they made really a masterful move yesterday. I think Amari Cooper's trade to Buffalo could be more impactful than Devontae for the Jets. The one thing I'm worried about with Texas is that who exactly have they played? The Michigan game has been devalued, and Oklahoma is not even a good team, let alone an elite team. I'm with you. Georgia will make this into a fantastic game, but I still think Texas is too good.
The 0-1 is hit high and deep right field. If it's fair, it's gone, and that one is fair. And a home run, a towering home run into the second deck for Shohei Ohtani.
And good afternoon. Welcome to Sports Day on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM, the talk of the town. Welcome into the Thursday show. Sometimes host Steve Webster with you here in the Mayo Money Management Studios today, joined by Mike Corson, Mike Hesher, and running the controls on the video streaming side is Mr. Landon Winkler. Well, it's Thursday. That means we've got high school football talk. The Great Bend Panthers. Let's see, a little big game tomorrow night. Let's see, those Hayes High Indians coming to town. We'll talk about it with head coach Aaron Beck, and he'll be joined by junior Ian Premer on the show today. Also, Mike Corson. No, he doesn't go on the prowl today. Sorry, Landon, you can't yell. Barton soccer coach Raphael Simmons will be in today to get you updated on the Barton soccer season that is rolling into the final week. They're getting ready for postseason play. And we'll have a little bit of pre-West Virginia audio with head coach Chris Kleiman. So that's coming up in the program today.
Just thinking last night, all the things Hayes has taken from Barton County. My principal, Mike Hester, went up there to be principal at Hayes High. Their current principal was the former Ellenwood High School principal, Coach Black, Coach Crow. It's like they recruit from down here in Barton County. Kind of interesting. So they're supposed to be the rivals, but kind of very well connected.
So Hayes High's AD now.
AD, I think he's been around forever.
Oh, okay.
The principal is Sean from Ellenwood.
Okay. Well, we'll get him back tomorrow. Yeah, some big matchups coming up. We'll have headlines and, of course, the sounds of the past 24 hours or so. Hey, good job last couple days. Between jury duty and the chick-chack crud, it's been a tough week.
See the crane out there. They're putting the cars back on the track this morning. Back on the rails.
Yeah, I got a little carried away yesterday.
No, that's okay. I was in slumberland by then, boys. All right. Well, go ahead. Yeah.
No, Shelley Duvall is she's a troublemaker.
No, and I told her before, boss is out, the inmates are running the asylum, and we were all pumped up for that.
Yes, we were.
Appreciate y'all stepping in. Okay, but Sheriff's back in town.
Yeah, I was going to say, now we're all going to be...
I'm sorry.
Mind our P's and Q's.
All right, let's get going. Sounds the past 24 hours or so from Sports Day yesterday. Kara Feist doesn't look across the net at the other team. Says that's important. The Panthers are 29-2.
Yeah, some of those opponents, if you gauged them, if you judged a book by the cover, like I'm telling you, Emporia looked awesome the other night, and didn't matter when they started playing.
Classmate Cassie Elligood kind of takes on Shelley DeVos. I mean, you got to carry yourself. You go in here 29-2, let them know you look like you're 29-2. Confident. Look confident. It's worked for them this year.
Yeah, we had an interesting chat because those two in particular, they look really good in the warm-ups, putting the ball straight down. Frankly, I haven't really seen that in Great Bend in maybe a long, long time, if ever. So when you watch them in warm-ups, you're like, uh-oh. If I was just watching cold meets as I sometimes do, I'd be like, that team's got it. And that's been Great Bend this year.
It's like infield in baseball, right? You go out there, you got a sharp infield because, whoa, those guys are pretty, unless, you got a team that goes out there and they ground ball to third, they practice a double play, ball flies into right field. Or the shortstop throwing to first, throws it over, and then, the ball comes back and then the coach can't get it and he's trying to get it. It's all about infield. You got to look sharp, man. That can send a message to that opponent.
As a youth coach, I have told my kids, I don't care if you hit the ball, at least we're going to walk up to the plate and look like we know what we're doing. So we will flat out work on that. You stick your bat out, you hold it right. The hitting will come later. So, yeah, it is about other teams do take notice of those things.
Okay, so Great Bend with the top seed in the 5A West right now by a half game over Topeka Seaman.
Yeah, new rankings came out. Same old. Topeka's number 1, Great Bend number 9 with 2 losses. So I don't know what the rest of the KVA coaches know, but there's some 5-6 loss teams in the middle of 5A, and Great Bend with 29-2 is still stuck at number 9, but number 1 seed.
Okay. Barton volleyball last night. They lose to Colby. Took the first match, and then Colby does to Barton what Barton did to Colby earlier this year. It was just the second loss of the year for the Barton Lady Cougars. Their 10-match winning streak comes to an end, so they're 23-2 overall. Cougars home on Saturday as they will host Seward County.
Yeah, Barton comes out pretty dominant first set. Everything moves so much quicker in high school, so they got through the first set really quick. I made a comment, I think Barton was up in the second set to Trevor Rolfs. I can't believe a team has to drive down here 2.5 hours to be out of here in an hour, and he said, you... So
it's your fault.
Almost took the second set. I left after that and was shocked this morning to find out that couldn't right the ship.
But I've been told they have the tiebreaker now because Dakota Tucker, our boss, went to the match last night, and he says, by virtue of Barton sweeping Colby in Colby, that if they finish out the same, Barton would host because they have the tiebreaker.
Because they swept them in 3 sets.
Right. And then Wichita and Colby only took 4.
And all three, the final 3 sets last night, 2 of them went extra points, so awesome match.
Okay, on to high school football. Zach Baird in studio yesterday talking about Hoiston Cardinal football coming off their win over Lakin last week. They get ready for Larned and getting some people back. And when you have people out of the lineup, that means you have to insert other players in. They've got valuable experience against some pretty good competition, and it's made the team better.
And I just thought it would be even better for them in the next year or two that they played as sophomores. When they're juniors and seniors, they'll be ready to go.
One of those players, seniors, Brady Rife, says, being a senior, you've got to get on them when they mess up, but make sure you encourage them when they do something right.
Did you say juice, though? They got little juice bottles?
Yes.
Little juice buckets?
I had to listen to that 3 or 4 times to figure out what he meant by that. Yeah.
Huh.
Hoisington and Larned tomorrow night at Earl Roberts Field. We'll have the game for you on 2 separate stations. The Cardinal perspective on 100.7 Eagle Country and the Indian perspective on Hits 106.9 with Gary Wagner and Buddy Tabler. And, we talked a lot about Hoiston's injuries this year, but Larned has lost their quarterback for the entire season. And that's made a huge impact on what Larned has been able to do. Rivalry game tomorrow night at Earl Roberts Field. Of course, we'll talk about the Great Bend Hayes High matchup coming up with Aaron Beck and Ian Premer here in just a moment. Other WAC games, Garden City plays at Dodge City tomorrow night. Liberal is at Ulysses. Ulysses 0-6.
That's hard for me to believe because, 5-10 years ago, they were dominant.
But, yes.
Things do change.
Okay, other games. Ellenwood at Conway Springs. Conway Springs, whew. They have been rolling opponents, 6-0. Ellenwood 4-2. Looks like possibly the possibility of getting into the playoffs will come down to the final game next week when Ellenwood hosts Medicine Lodge. So
And Medicine Lodge had been one of those teams down on its luck for years. Rebound season last year, up to number 2 this year. But I don't know if they've lived up to that, so it'd be interesting.
Beloit at Ellsworth. An interesting matchup. Beloit's 4-2. Ellsworth was 5-0 and then went on the road and got hammered by Halstead last week. A surprising result. They'll play at one of the best venues in high school football tomorrow in Ellsworth. I don't know, what do they call that? Is it Bearcat Stadium or the?
It starts with an S.
I've only been there a couple times.
It's cool setting.
It's a nice location.
Cool
yes.
setting for high school football down in that little valley. Okay, 8-man game. Central Plains at Little River. Little River lost to El Saline. That was their first loss last week. Central Plains 5-1. Big boy game tomorrow in Little River.
Those used to be some of the hardest hitting games when Little River and Central Plains would play. Those were among the best 8-man games, and I don't think they liked each other at that time.
Stafford is at St. John tomorrow night. Trigo at La Crosse. Trigo's 2-4, but their first 4 losses came to some of the top 8-man teams in the state. La Crosse, with a very young team, trying to find their way at 1-5. Maxville goes to Victoria. Sublette is at Kinsley. Ness City at Ellis. Dighton, 6-0, plays in Jetmore. Hodgman County, also 6-0.
It's the Dighton Hornets. Not the Diggers, the Hornets.
I did not say
I almost said it. Yeah, I almost did.
Not the Lyles Lashley fantasy baseball franchise that has really fallen off the map, basically, here in the last few seasons. But no, it is the Dighton Hornets. And Lincoln is at Sylvan Lucas. Both those teams are 5-1. Pawnee Heights home to face 5-1 South Barber tomorrow night in 6-man football. And Tesket, 4-2, is at 0-5 Chase. Otis Bison has the day off. NFL, Andy Reid says the left tackle position still a work in progress as the Chiefs get ready to go to San Francisco to take on the 49ers on Sunday. The Denver Broncos, they will play tonight against the New Orleans Saints. The game on Sunday between the Chiefs and 49ers marks the 10th time in NFL history the teams that met in the Super Bowl played again in the following regular season, with the defending champion going 6-3 in those games.
And then Andy Reid doing very well on bye weeks, so you would think the Chiefs would be favored.
49ers have been using a fill-in kicker, Matthew Wright, but he didn't practice yesterday. So the Niners signed Anders Carlson to the practice squad this week for insurance. Chiefs making a move yesterday as they activated Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Okay, so now they have Helaire, Samaje Perine, and Kareem Hunt, along with Carson Steele. Does he become a special teams player now, or?
Well, you got Pacheco waiting in the wings when he comes back.
Yeah, and it could be in a couple of weeks.
Could be a couple of weeks. I was listening to a podcast, and they said Steele may be in trouble. I mean, well, it could probably a practice squad.
He's on some special teams.
Well, yeah, but
I mean, you got to have a guy on your team named Carson Steele. Okay, and when will this man arrive in camp? Buffalo's trading former Pro Bowl wide receiver Amari Cooper. So to make space, they released Marquez Valdez-Scantling. When is he going to arrive in camp?
Monday of next week.
Okay. If the Chiefs need wide receiver help, they always go back to the well, someone who knows the playbook. We'll wait and see that. Okay, Mike Tannenbaum on ESPN talking about the Amari Cooper trade to Bills, better than the Adams to the Jets trade.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
I don't know. Josh Allen has another target after, they lost Stephon Diggs. So.
Yeah, but Rodgers is teaming up with an old teammate, so taking something from the Chiefs.
When is Aaron Rodgers okay, let's see. He didn't like his coach, evidently, and now he didn't like his receivers, so he's getting all his blankets back with him,
I didn't read it, but there was a headline yesterday that said he's trying to dispel the rumor that he didn't like his coaches.
Okay, all right.
Which is what he would do, but...
Paul Feinbaum, on the Paul Feinbaum Show, Texas is better than Georgia, but they haven't been tested yet. Woo, that'll be a fun game to watch on Saturday. Texas hosts Georgia.
So what is interesting there, Alabama looked like they were going to floor Georgia, which I thought Georgia was probably the best team in the country. Then Alabama comes back and loses to Vanderbilt, and they almost got beat
by South Carolina.
So it's Texas has rolled everybody. I still probably put Texas and Georgia as the top two.
But doesn't Texas have a tendency to lose big games?
Well, they haven't been in big games.
Okay.
That's been a big problem since when they were in the Big 12. They go to the SEC, and all of a sudden they're the cream of the crop.
Well, that schedule's a tough one. We'll see what they do.
Okay. And finally, the call last night on ESPN, right here, KVGB, Shohei Ohtani. Hadn't done any 0 for 19 in the
Was he really? I didn't.
National
Okay.
Championship Series. Homered last night, and it was an 8-0 win over the Mets, putting them up 2-1 in the National League Championship Series. Game 4 is tonight. You can hear that game around 7. We'll start our baseball coverage today at 2:30. Cleveland Guardians back home to take on the suddenly resurgent New York Yankees. 3:30 today.
So do you want New York playing New York, or do you want New York playing the West Coast and the Dodgers? I mean, they both are not attractive to me, but you're going, I know the TV people are going to like it because it's going to bring huge numbers.
I wouldn't mind you watching either one. You don't think Cleveland's going to come back?
I don't think so, no.
Tanner Bybee, the ace of their staff, got lit up yesterday. So
And they said he may come back on shorter rest now. I'm like, he didn't throw very much.
No, he didn't.
So
come back and try again.
We had asked the other day, was that John Sterling on the call? He is. He's back in the booth. So he must just be kind of part-time where he picks games when they make the
stepping
playoffs.
into the playoffs.
He said the Yankees run the bases like they're drunk. So they had 2 pickoff plays, so he wasn't happy. So I'm like, yeah, only John Sterling would say that.
There you go. Sounds of the past 24 hours or so. Okay. It's time to talk football.
All right.
Great Bend Panther football.
I was not notified they're here, but
they will be.
Okay, well, I trust them. They will be here.
Aaron Beck, Ian Pramer coming up next.
They are here. Okay, my bad.
That's okay. You question things.
Every day.
Always have confidence in our guest here on Sports Day. Our show brought to you by Eller Automotive Repair, where they specialize in wheel alignments, oil changes, and general maintenance for all makes and models of cars and small trucks. And C&E Doors, your full-service garage door company. Follow the orange signs south of 10th and Harrison in Great Bend.
Hey y'all, it's Dr. Ty here at Animal Medical, and in the next couple months we are going to pivot and talk about behavior and training. From our standpoint, we see it affect so many folks out there in the relationship with their animal and even the relationship with us as their caretaker is all affected by how those animals get started from a training process. We'll focus on some basics. If you have any questions, call. Large or small, we take care of them all.
Get the power you need for your farm equipment. The power of peace of mind that dependable Cenex lubricants deliver. With decades of proven off-road performance backed by the industry-leading Cenex Total Protection Plan warranty, Cenex heavy-duty diesel engine oils, hydraulic fluids, gear lubricants, and greases are formulated to provide superior protection for load-bearing equipment. The power you need to keep your business running like a well-oiled machine.
Contact American Plains Co-op Fuel Department in Great Bend, your certified Cenex distributor.
Community bankers should actually know your community. Hi, I'm Sean Powelson, president of your local Equity Bank. As someone who lives here, I know many of you and I know what's important to you. I've been in the industry a long time and I've helped many navigate through financial challenges and lead them to financial opportunities. I believe that people bank with people, so I'd like to invite you to stop by one of our region's 5 locations and meet our friendly, helpful staff. Let us show you our commitment to serving you and our communities. Because at Equity Bank, we're right here beside you. Member FDIC.
When it comes to car maintenance, it's good to know a local guy that can get things done. The Eller family has been in the auto repair business in Great Bend forever. Greg Eller continues that long tradition of helping people. Eller Automotive Repair specializes in wheel alignments, oil changes, and general maintenance for all makes and models of cars and small trucks. Open 8 to 5 Monday through Thursday, 8 to 4 Fridays. Eller Automotive Repair at 915 Morton, right behind Great Bend Appliance, Furniture, and Sleep Source, 10th and Morton.
It's Panther football time on Sports Day. And now, here's Great Bend football coach Aaron Beck.
Panther football talk time here on KVGB. Our show brought to you in part by the Animal Medical Center in Great Bend. Large or small, they take care of them all. And by Equity Bank, adding value for their customers and communities. Equity Bank in Great Bend, Hoyston, and Lawrence. See the locations tab at equitybank.com for more locations. Head coach Aaron Beck, Ian Premer, in studio today. So, welcome in, guys.
Yeah.
Before we get to this, I was informed this morning of the first championship as a coach for Ian Premer. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Flag football boys came through for you,
Yes,
didn't
they did.
Okay, so this is a pretty cool matchup because, so you're the offensive coordinator, and Dax is a defensive coordinator.
Yes.
Okay, so how were you co-head coaches or you were the head coach?
His name was the head coach, but I did a lot like the head coaching stuff, like texting wise and communicating with the parents. But I would say we were co-head coaches.
Well, that's really cool because you guys are so busy at this time of year, yet you're able to go out and that's going to be a thrill for those kids to not only be able to learn football skills, but learn from a couple of high school football players for the Panthers. Talk about that experience, Ian.
Yeah, it's our third year doing it, and we started, it would have been mine and Daxton's freshman year because Jordy Meyer, his cousin, played, so he wanted us to coach him, and we did, and it was a lot of fun, so we just kept on doing it.
Did you win a championship the previous 2 years?
We won the first year,
okay,
and
so
then didn't win last year, and then just won this year.
Okay, so that's your second.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's not talk about that first year. That was when he coached against me. And my son's team in the championship game. So,
all right. So, what's your philosophy with going on with those kids learning the game of football, Ian?
Yeah, mainly on the first practices, we just want them to get a feel for everything and introduce some of the language like line of scrimmage, pass, toss, just so they know what we're doing and they can actually pick up on real football and know that type of stuff. And then we just do some skill work, working on speed, agility, being able to throw and catch. And while we're doing skill work, we're analyzing and saying, he'll be our quarterback. And we kind of figure out positions. When they think they're training and getting better, we're seeing where we want to put them, which works really good both ways.
Okay, you've got a lot of film to watch, as a Panther. I mean, how much are you breaking down your team's film on flag football?
None. I asked my mom to video a couple of plays because I wanted to see how they looked because it's fun to be able to pick and do a whole bunch of trick plays because it's flag. Like, you can just go out and have fun with it. So it's just run a whole lot of different stuff and see what works.
That's really cool. You've got a lot of other players who are doing stuff in the community just like that, Aaron. That's cool. It's part of the experience.
yeah, it's really neat. I know Hayden Kelly helps with a PKFL team, and then these guys go out there and help. There's a bunch of them that help with different practices, with different groups. So really neat thing. I think, a couple weeks ago, we got a really nice email from Pat Stiles over in Central Plains. His grandson, I believe, is on Ian and Dax's team, and just said how neat it was to see those guys interact and how much it meant to him to see, kids of this age being so mature and just coaching those kids up. So a lot to be proud of outside of just their football on Friday nights.
What about allegations that you're recruiting illegally?
I will not respond to those.
Okay, very good. Okay, he's got this down.
He does.
All right. Head to Liberal last Friday. Tough ball game against Liberal. They were ready for you. It was amazing to see 71 plays to 51 run in the ball game, and I guess that was kind of the way Liberal wanted to do it, I guess.
Yeah, it was kind of one of those games we kind of expected that's what they were going to do. Try to ground and pound it and control the clock, and they did just that. It's always kind of a tough atmosphere, environment to play in, and we just didn't come in quite as focused as we needed to be, and let some outside factors get in our way, and it kind of lagged. And you know, I told our kids this: we were lucky to get out of there with a win, and that has been a good motivation card to play this week. That can't rely on luck versus a team like Hayes. So when you can get out of something like that and learn that much, but still walk away in the win column, it's good for your ball club. But we knew that we got a long way to go and make sure that we were ready to roll here this week heading into Hayes.
Talk about the challenge. I mean, some teams get upset in games like that, Ian, but you guys were able to come across. What you feel the team learned from a game like that against Liberal when, you know, you're on the road and things aren't exactly going your way?
I think that we learn, like, even if we go into half of 14-0, they're not going to roll over for us, and we have to continue to take it to them. And I think we were a little lax there, so we're going to be more focused going forward, and we'll let that happen again.
Okay, we've got a little game tomorrow night. Wow. Hayes High comes to town. Good football team. You're undefeated. Western Athletic Conference on the at stake, and it's Hayes High. So I guess this is why the old saying, Aaron, this is why we play the game.
Yeah, this will be a good one. They're a really good football team, and you know, the WAC title has ran through Hayes here the last several years. So they're the team to beat up front. They are as good as a team as Hayes, I think, has probably ever had, or even, you know, we've seen on film this year. Both their O-line, D-line, just a lot of really talented, skilled dudes, and their best two guys are probably sophomores. Their center and the Kosar kid, and then their nose guard. I mean, those two sophomores are studs for them, and then, you know, some really good pieces around them. Linebackers are experienced and fly around and make a lot of good plays. And then, you know, they lost the ball kid, but they replaced him with a couple really tough running 1-2 combination backs back there. So they have a lot of talent. It's going to be one of those type of games where we got to bring it physically, because they have a lot more depth than we have, and that'll be a key factor tomorrow night is trying to figure out how we make sure that our guys are fresh as can be, make sure that we are being smart with some of our play calls, with some of our usage of timeouts, with some of the stuff like that to try to make sure that we withstand some of that stuff. And it's going to be one of those Western Athletic Conference Hayes Great Bend rivalry games that we're really excited about.
I'm sure you've challenged your offensive and defensive lines to come up, because, as they say, this one's going to be in the trenches, it looks like, on Friday.
Yeah, it really is. And the good news is we've got a lot of experience on both those sides of the ball. Like I said, not as much depth as we wish we had, but at the same time, I mean, guys like Aiden Davidson and Trent Kern and Owen Kaiser, and I mean, these guys have been in this type of game before, so that's some experience that I know that we'll lean on tomorrow night.
You've been going against these guys since you're in 7th grade, probably? A lot of these players?
Even before that, like with PKFL, it really starts third grade is when we really started competing against them year in and year out.
What's it like playing in a rivalry game like this? And especially it's with so much on the line, Ian.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It has a little of a different feel. You're like, yeah, we got to beat these guys. We've played them ever since like 3rd grade, and we know them, and we just got to go out and compete.
Defensively, what do you see from the Indians on preparing for this game tomorrow night?
I think that they're really sound defensively. They're a good tackling team. They go and make plays, and then they're big and athletic up front, and they're linebackers. So if we can control the ball and run it against them, we'll be good.
Offensively, what are going to be some keys to stopping them?
Their offense is good. They're really big up front, and they run the ball well. Like he said, they got good 1-2 punch running back wise. So if we can control up front, not get driven back, and then let our linebackers, Trent Kern, Kale Kern, and Jackson go make plays for us, that'll be big time.
What's the vibe around the team this week? Business-like?
Yeah, I think we're really focused and business-like. Like you said, like we're focused on the next game mentality. This is the one we've got up next, so we're 100% focused on it.
Okay, so the season begins. Have you noticed how teams have kept an eye on you as the season's gone on?
Yeah, we've seen different types of defenses, like Olathe South week 2 kind of followed me around. So we've seen different type of defenses all year. We've adjusted well to that, I think, and we're ready for what we're going to see.
And the fact, I guess, if they put 2 on you, someone else is going to be open. That's something that's helps the team as well.
Yeah, for us, I mean, we've got obviously Cooper, Jake, Hayden. We've got a whole type of receivers that are dudes. Like, if they want to put 2 on me, then they're all 3 going to have big nights. So I think that's going to help me a lot. If they put 1 on me, that's because they know if they put 2, then those guys are going to have big days. So it's been really nice for me to have all sorts of weapons around our entire offense.
Okay, so in a game like this, it is a big game, but it's not going to be. It's not going to be a defining point of the season, obviously. Even if with a loss, one of these teams is still going to have a chance to make a run in postseason, but it's still big, right?
Yeah, obviously we want to win the WAC. That's our goal at the start of the season. We want to win WAC, and we haven't done that in a while. I haven't done that in anything in my high school career, so this is a really big one for me.
Coach, we're week 7 now. If things kind of gets into routine, kind of talk about the way practice has gone this week as your team prepares for this matchup tomorrow night.
Well, he kind of hit it on the head. The focus, the preparation has been on point this week, and you kind of felt a little bit difference from last week to this week, and you kind of expect that with this group, and that's something we kind of challenge them as a staff to make sure that we are locked in each and every play, because that's the type of mentality it's going to take. And he does a good job of echoing the things that we always try to tell him, is that, yes, it is a big game. Yes, there is some stuff on the line. But you got to treat it like each and every week. You can't get so outside of yourself and try to be Superman every play because it's Hayes High and there's a WAC championship on the line. You got to just go out and do your job and just trust the execution you've done all week in practice to translate to Friday night. And it's going to take some physical football. I know that much, because it's going to be one of those type of games. Hayes always comes out. They will be jacked. They will travel well. Their student section will be rocking. I know ours will be rocking. So it's going to be it's got kind of that same vibe that I had my first year here back in 2016 when Garden City came in and both teams were 7-0, and I think both teams were ranked number 1 in their classification. So I think the atmosphere is going to be very similar to that. About 8 years ago.
Ball security becomes just magnified in a game like this.
Yeah, it really does. That's something that I know our defense is very hungry to get some takeaways. That's one thing we've been lacking here the last couple weeks, is the opportunity to take it away from a team. And Hayes is the same way. They thrive on that kind of thing as a defense. So you go win that turnover battle. You're going to help control the clock. You're going to give your offenses more chances to score. So it feels like it's going to come down to one of those type of games. I know it's 2 really good defenses that are going to be taking this field, so it should be a fun night.
Special teams, we really haven't talked about it a lot, but very important in a game like this. What about your special teams this year?
Yeah, I really feel like we've kind of figured out some of our PAT field goal team. We kind of went out and got our kicker from last year. Diego Soto has been a lot better for us in our kicking game. And then Omar last week did such an outstanding job on our kickoffs. 3 touchbacks off 3 kickoffs is huge. And I think stuff like that will be critical. And if we can give, guys like Ian, guys like Cooper chances in the return game to maybe make something happen, that's going to be big. And then, with Hayes High and Great Bend, you always got to expect the unexpected. I think both teams will have some things up their sleeves, whether that's in the special teams game or just within the flow of the regular thing. So making sure you touch on all those special situations, making sure everybody is prepared today as we go into special teams meetings and talk about all the things that could happen and might happen within a game, because I just really feel like, as you watch college football every Saturday, it feels like every game comes down to 1 or 2 plays, and I kind of feel that's how this one will go tomorrow night.
Are they going to kick to you, do you think? Or how teams been doing that with your explosive nature that you have with your kickoff returns?
Yeah.
And punt returns.
Yeah, teams really have. And we've had some really tough kick returns just because they've been putting in some tough spots that kind of get you out of rhythm, out of sync. But that's something that having Ian and having Cooper back there, you just never know. I would be scared to death if I had to kick to them. So
yeah, exactly.
So if they decide to, let's try to make them pay, and if not, let's take advantage of the good field position.
So we like to say big boy game tomorrow night. Ian, your feelings going into this one? Just a little over 24 hours away.
Yeah, I'm excited and ready to go. We can't get too hyped up right now. We've got a long day tomorrow to sit and wait, and then we can finally get going.
Okay. Your thoughts going in, Aaron?
Yeah, very similar. Just making sure we touch on all the things we've preached to them all week long, and review those type of things over in meetings today, and go out and have a focused Thursday practice, and then a little different tomorrow with these kids not having school. So we'll bring them in for a little morning game day lift and try to keep them locked in and ready to go for that 7 o'clock kickoff.
Yeah, good point on that. Is that something? Yeah, you don't have school tomorrow. Okay, how do you manage that?
Well, good and bad, I guess. We've already done this. We did this versus Dodge.
Okay.
So we've done it once, and then we turn around and we do it again next week. So 3 out of the last 4 weeks, the kids will have no school on Friday. So it's probably worse on them, just trying to make sure they don't go home and sleep for too long.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. Try to keep routine. So that's why we get them out of bed and do our normal game day lift and make sure they're all up and moving to try to keep things as normal as we can.
Well, thanks for bringing so much excitement to the city of Great Bend. It's going to be a blast. Good luck tomorrow night, guys.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you.
Ian Premier Aaron Beck with us here on Sports Day today. Our show brought to you in part by the Barton Cougar Booster Club, continuing their efforts to make the Barton Athletic Department the best in the country, and by the Marmy Auto Group on 10th Street in Great Bend.
From the Mail Money Management Studios, 1590 KVGB Great Bend and 95.5 FM K238CK Hoisington.
Discover affordable education with Barton Online. Whether you're looking to pick up a class or earn your associate degree, we've got you covered for less than half the cost of a university. We are always enrolling with 5 sessions available this fall, including 16, 8, and 4-week sessions. Get started when it fits your schedule. Tackle your gen eds or the first 2 years of college with a low-cost pathway and save time and money with Barton Online. Visit online.bartoncccc.edu and enroll today.
C&E Doors, this is Eddie.
I need some work done.
Are you in a haunted house?
No, it's my garage door. I think I might need a new one.
We can take a look. We can do repairs and replacement. We'll see what's right for you.
What a relief. I thought I was going to get stuck in here.
Call the guys in orange at C&E Doors to fix your haunted house.
C&E Doors, Great Bend. Follow the orange signs just south of 10th and Harrison.
If you're needing a healthcare plan for your business, let the experienced and dedicated staff at Freedom Claims Management Incorporated customize a health insurance plan that fits your business's need. Regardless if you're a large corporation or a small business on Main Street, Freedom Claims Management Incorporated can help you provide your employees with great health coverage at an affordable cost. Visit freedomclaimse.com where you can schedule a free, no obligation health assessment today. Freedom Claims Management Incorporated in Great Bend.
Marmy Auto Group makes it happen. Central and Western Kansas. Check out our selection of new and pre-owned inventory. Marmy's friendly staff offers top quality service that you've gotten to know over the years. When your existing vehicle needs parts or service, our experienced team will get you back in the game this season. Marmy Chevrolet, GMC, Ford and Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep Ram, parts, service, and body shop. Visit Marmy Auto Group on 10th Street or marmys.net. Marmy's, make it happen.
It's Sports Day on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM. Presented by Barton Community College and the Cougar Athletic Department.
Welcome back, Sports Day here. Steve Webster with you from the Mayo Money Management Studio. Time to talk a little Barton soccer with head coach Raphael Simmons, who joins us. Thanks for coming in today, Coach. Women in action last night, taking on Hutch. Boy, you guys just play close games all the time.
Yeah.
But Hutchinson taking them on the road, come out 2-0 loss last night. Thoughts on that matchup, Coach?
I think the girls have been doing well recently. We had, I think, if we look at our last 3 games, if I'm thinking correctly, is we beat Coffeyville, we tied KCK 1-1, and KCK is a very good team, and then we lost to Hutch 2-0. And it was a close game, probably a little closer than 2-0. So they're playing tough games, tough opponents, getting some results here and there. Yesterday was a little bit frustrating because we outshot them. We had a lot of opportunities, couldn't score a goal. I thought if we score a goal, we'd probably turn around and maybe tie or win the game, but just couldn't get it into the net. And I think the second half, if I remember the stats correct, we had 14 shots. They had 0, but they had the 2 goals at the start of the game that counted that helped the win. So
it's amazing. We're down the final home stretch right now, and then you got Cali coming. It doesn't get any easier on Saturday. Talk about the significance of this game on Saturday for the Lady Cougars.
So for the girls team, I think it's pretty much set on standings at the moment. If we had won yesterday and then we could possibly win on Saturday, that would have helped us move into maybe 3rd position. At the moment, we're probably going to be set between 4th and 5th, between maybe us and Hutch. So obviously we want to win. We want to go into the last couple games right before playoffs on a good run. But in terms of standings, pretty much set, I think, where we're going to be and where we're going to go. So it's more, I think we don't want to get any injuries. We don't want to get any suspensions for cards and stuff, because we have 2 girls that are on 4 yellow cards, and 5, if they get a 5th, they have to sit out a game. So we're trying to manage everybody a little bit to keep our full strength team as much as possible for playoffs.
So does that carry over then into the...
So if they get the 5th, the game before playoffs, it carries over the suspension. If they stay on 4 until the last regular season game, it jumps up to 8 cards for playoffs. So they have a little bit of a leniency once they go into playoffs. It's just not getting that card right before playoffs.
That's what makes it, it makes it interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, that you're keeping track of that. So what is it? How many yellows before you have to sit out?
5. 5. It goes 5, and then 8, and then 10. And then I think after that is every yellow card. No one ever got to 10, I don't think. It's hard for you to get to 10 in about 20 games. So, but people will get to 8.
Okay, let's talk about the Cougar men right now and the 1-goal games.
Yep.
And that kind of the case. KCK on Saturday, 1-0. That's coming off a 2-1 loss to Iowa Western, and KCK got you again. Good team.
Yeah, it was an ugly game. We gave up our goal from a throw-in, so they did a long throw-in. Our goalkeeper went up to try and hinder out, like push it out. He missed it. Well, kind of landed in the back of the goal where there was a KCK guy kind of pushing it in, and I don't think that game was anybody's there to win. It was very ugly and not a lot of opportunities. But they did what they wanted to do, to just come in, grind out a result, and it kind of put our chances of winning the conference in the back burner a little bit. Now we have to try and focus on hopefully finishing in the top 2 so we can get a good seed for playoffs, and that's going to depend on Saturday's game now. So we get to, at least we're playing at home and we have a good record at home, but still Cali's going to be a tough team. They're number 8 in the country. They just won last night against Coffeyville. So we'll see.
The Winds have I think behaved themselves for the most part this fall.
Until today.
Yeah, until today and tomorrow and Saturday, and it looks like the Winds are going to be blowing pretty hard on Saturday. So what do you...
It brings a smile to my face. If there wasn't one already.
Okay.
We like the Wind, and it's just there's not a lot of places. Maybe out west a little bit, Dodge City, Garden City, they get a little bit, but we get a good amount of wind here, and we're used to it. And we've been successful with and against the wind. We learned how to play a little bit, so teams don't like to come here and play with us with the wind, and unfortunately we haven't had much wind, and not even cold weather. It's been nice weather basically the whole season, so I'm ready for a little bit of cold, a little bit of wind, and hopefully that's going to help us we like it and we can be somewhat successful with it as well.
How do you handle wind on a east-west field, say, if you get a crosswind?
It's tough. The ball ends up being on a certain side of the field a lot of time.
Right.
You hopefully try to put some of those players that can help you or defend a little bit better on that side to help the play a little bit. Most of ours is one side. We get a little bit of diagonal wind, but it's mainly from one side of the goal. And we've been pretty good going against the wind. So most of the time we start going against the wind, and then we finish up the game with the wind in our back.
Is that your preference? Is that
it is. I think, me personally, I just like to end with the wind in case you know what you need to chase or you know what you need to defend against. And the only issue that we have, and we talked about this yesterday, is in the girls' game, you give up a lot of goals from long-distance shots, balls in the air, and with the wind, it just intensified those shots. So we just have to make sure that when we're going against the wind with the girls, we have to limit fouls and free kicks, corners, because those can be very dangerous on the girls' game.
Very competitive on both the men's and women's side this year in the region. This is wide open on both the men and women's side as you've seen it since you've been at Barton?
Yeah, on the women's side for sure. I don't know if some of the teams are a little bit weaker or some of the lower teams are a little bit stronger. So last night, Garden City, who are used to be bottom of our league at the moment, but they won. They beat Butler, who's number 1 in our league, 2-0. So that was a big upset. And I think any team can go and beat anybody on any day. So once it gets to playoffs, it's going to be an interesting turn of events, what's going to happen and who's going to win and who's going to get through. So I'm happy where we're at, and possibly playing Hutch is a good tie for us in terms of the playoff pictures. On the boys' side, I believe everybody's a little bit better. Even if we looked Seward and Garden, who are I think the bottom 2 last year, they're getting a lot of good results this year, beating teams, tying some teams. So it's a little bit more competitive, and it's good. I think everything is good for the conference. As long as the top and bottom can compete, it makes it maybe a little bit stressful for me, but it's good for the conference, I think.
Last regular season game, sophomore day. That Saturday.
Yeah, we have a good group of both on the boys and the girls that are going to be their last home game, last chance to not the last chance to play with us, hopefully, and probably not the last home game for the boys because I think we're going to end up hosting a playoff game. For the girls, it might be the last home game. So it is an important time for them because they give a lot for the program, time. A lot of the international kids that come from far away and high expenses that their families have to pay. So it's nice to give them a little bit of appreciation back for it.
Coach, good luck this weekend, and we'll talk to you again next week as we
Thank
get
you.
closer to postseason. Raphael Simmons, Barton Soccer, with us here on Sports Day. We'll be back. More of the show right after this.
All here at Great Bend Rec.
Sports, leisure, fitness and wellness, even senior and adaptive needs. It's all here at Great Bend Rec. Pick up a program guide or stop by the rec office at 1214 Stone in Great Bend. Or check out the website, greatbendrec.com. Live, play, explore at the rec.
It's all here at Great Bend Rec. Live, play, explore at the rec.
Hey everyone, this is Cole Wright, voice of the Barton Cougars. Attending sporting events for Barton Community College is great, but did you know you can support the athletic teams even further by getting involved with the Cougar Booster Club? The Boosters help with fundraising for equipment and facility upgrades to give Barton athletes every opportunity to keep succeeding at the regional and national levels. Join the Cougar Booster Club as an individual or business. Call 620-792-9377. Become a booster today. Go Cougars.
Community bankers should actually know your community. Hi, I'm Sean Powson, president of Your Local Equity Bank. As someone who lives here, I know many of you and I know what's important to you. I've been in the industry a long time, and I've helped many navigate through financial challenges and lead them to financial opportunities. I believe that people bank with people, so I'd like to invite you to stop by one of our region's 5 locations and meet our friendly, helpful staff. Let us show you our commitment to serving you and our communities. Because at Equity Bank, we're right here beside you. Member FDIC.
Now, in its second decade, it's Sports Day on 1590 KBGB and 95.5 FM. Presented by Barton Community College and the Cougar Athletic Department.
Also brought to you in part by Grape and Rec Commission, dedicated to improving our community and the lives of its individuals, and by Freedom Claims Management, innovative healthcare plans for your business. Let them take care of everything for you from start to finish, and continued support. They have you covered. Well, it doesn't get any easier for Kansas State after their stirring win at Colorado last Saturday. Well, they're right back into the frying pan as they play at West Virginia on Saturday. It's a 7:30 or a 6:30 kick, and that will be on Fox. And Chris Kleiman meeting the press this week, talking about, first of all, Avery Johnson and maybe how he grew up a little bit in that win over Colorado.
How did Avery grow from this experience, kind of playing through an injury?
In the fact that a couple of things, he grew in a number of ways. One, the injury was one thing, but then a flip in philosophies at halftime where we were doing a great job denting them in the run game, and then in the second half, they changed their defensive front and said, we're going to put 5 guys up here, and we didn't have quarterback run like we talked about, and we had to make some plays in the pass game, and he made a great throw to Jace down the middle of the field one time that sparked us to get that field goal, and then the plays late to hang in there. He just got the ball off on the run to Jace and found the maybe the mistake in coverage with DJ. So without a doubt that he keeps growing and getting better and keeps learning from his experiences.
You get to see DJ Giddens every day in practice. Are you still kind of amazed at how much progress this kid just keeps making and making?
Yeah, and he practices the way you guys watch him play. And he's one of those guys where we try to give him a few breaks during the week, and he doesn't want them. He wants to stay out there. He wants every rep he can get, and he runs with great patience as well as with physicality, and as everybody's seen, he has the ability to make people miss in the hole as well as outside on the perimeter, and he's playing at such a high level, and excited to see him maybe start to finally get some of the respect he deserves.
Maybe it got lost in the shuffle on Saturday, but Taquan Roberson came in and really did a good job finishing off that drive for you. As you rewatched that series, what did he prove to you and guys?
A couple things, and he was one of our players of the game afterwards. And I don't know if he played 4 plays, 6 plays, somewhere in there. The first thing was the noise. He came in at a time where it was cranked up really loud and we were driving, and he was able to handle the noise. I think we made one mistake, but he handled the noise, didn't have any problem with the cadence, and then I thought he threw a strike. I think it was to Jace on an out-breaking cut, and you could tell he'd played a lot of football. I think that was the thing that we were excited to see, as his experience showed up, playing as much football as he had. Jacob had gotten banged up like on Tuesday or Wednesday of last week, and wasn't able to make the trip. Knuth wasn't. So that gave Taquan many more reps, because we really had been splitting those 2 reps all season, and then Jacob got nicked up. I think it was Wednesday before our team periods, so then Taquan took all the reps of team with the 2s on Wednesday and Thursday, and we had the noise cranked up pretty good there. So I think he felt pretty comfortable going in there. Really happy for him.
Against Colorado, you have to defend the pass all game. Now you're going to get up against a team that loves to run it. What's the new challenge here this week?
You hit it on the head. They run the ball, and they run the ball really effectively with 3 different players. Both tailbacks are really good and can beat you inside or outside, and they're 2 maybe different size backs, but they both run inside. They both run outside, and then Green's he's one of my favorite kids to watch play. Now, I don't know if I'm going to really like watching him on Saturday night, but he's a competitor, and he makes plays. He makes plays with his arm. He makes plays with his legs. Not afraid to run inside. He'll cut back. He's not going to run out of bounds or slide very often. Been impressed with him. I think maybe it was his first start against us in 22. Somewhere around there, and I was impressed with him then. And then, I think he's taken probably about every snap since then. And I know that Neil has been really impressed with him, and you can tell his energy sparks our team.
What does West Virginia do in defense?
It's been some of the things that we've seen in the past from them. They're going to be some 3 down. They're going to be some 4 down. Even their 3 down, they may have an overhang guy. They're going to pressure you. I think they're really disruptive up front. I think they're really physical. They get upfield. They've got a guy that I think leads the country in TFLs, and so they're not just reading and reacting. They're penetrating defensive line and just starting to get into watch of some of the coverage things that they're doing, because I've spent some time on the other side of the ball, but a lot of veteran guys, and that's this thing that you see now with transfer portal and kids coming back. I mean, every team seems to have a lot of older players.
Chris Kleiman on facing West Virginia Saturday, again 6:30 on Fox KU. In Kansas City at Arrowhead, they'll host Houston Saturday at 2:30. That game available only on ESPN+. One final break. Back to wrap up the show after this.
Hey, high school seniors, ready to figure out what's next? Barton Community College's Senior Day is the place to be on November 20th. Whether your dream starts with tackling your gen eds and transferring to a university, or you want to dive straight into a technical program that can land you a job in as little as 1 semester, Barton has you covered. Did we mention that there's $6,000 in scholarships up for grabs? Sign up before November 4th at seniorday.bartonccc.edu. Your future's waiting. Discover it at Senior Day.
C&E Doors, this is Eddie.
I need some work done.
Are you in a haunted house?
No, it's my garage door. I think I might need a new one.
We can take a look. We can do repairs and replacement. We'll see what's right for you.
What a relief. I thought I was going to get stuck in here.
Call the guys in orange at C&E Doors to fix your haunted house.
C&E Doors, Great Bend. Follow the orange signs just south of 10th and Harrison.
Sports Day is presented by Barton Community College and the Cougar Athletic Department. Sports Day on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM.
Yeah, Sports Day also brought to you by Equity Bank. Here when you need us. Bank local, save big with in-person banking and business banking. Find out more at equitybank.com. And the American Plains Co-op Bulk Fuel Department, where they feature number 2 clear diesel, bulk fuel, E10 fuel delivery, and all your lubricants and fuel supplies. Mentioned some of those Big 12 matchups. It starts tomorrow night. This was, thought would be a key game early in the year. Oklahoma State at 13th ranked BYU. Not anymore, not the way Oklahoma State has got off. They're 0-3 in the Big 12. Arizona State plays at Cincinnati, Colorado at Arizona, Baylor's at Texas Tech, UCF at Iowa State, TCU at Utah. Top 25 matchups involving top 25 teams. A game we'll have for you on KVGB Saturday starting at 2. 7th-ranked Alabama takes on 11th-ranked Tennessee. 24th-ranked Michigan at number 22 Illinois. And the big one on Saturday, 6:30 on ABC, 5th-ranked Georgia in Austin to take on Texas. Back tomorrow on the program. Hey, don't forget Major League Baseball doubleheader, Yankees in Cleveland, 3:30 today, followed by Game 4 of the NLCS, Dodgers and Mets. Talk to you tomorrow.